Hello, and welcome to Live Vedanta, a podcast about simple living and high thinking. With this episode, we are shifting to Chapter 5 of the Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, a timeless map on life and living. In Chapter 5, verse 7, we focus on the theme of doershiplessness, deepening the focus on karma yoga and self-development. By purifying the mind, overcoming the ego and senses, and seeing the spirit in all beings, we can act dynamically and freely, unbound by our actions while uplifting ourselves and others. Let's tune in to learn more how exactly this can happen.
Chapter 5. Karma Yoga magnified times 1,000. The refinement here is from deservershiplessness to doershiplessness. Doershiplessness. This chapter begins with Prince Arjuna being an icon of one who's engaged in active listening, learning, living. He begins this chapter with pariprashnena. He's reflected, but he wants reconciliation. We are on verse. What's your guess? The craps wheel is spun. Your dice, sorry, I'm mixing up craps and roulette. It shows how little I know about gambling. 2, 18, 7. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyaha sarva bhutatma bhutatma purvannapi na lipyate. Joy. Yoga yukta, the one who's tied, who revolves around yoga. Yoga is an effort to become better. Here, Sri Krishna uses the word vishuddha, to become purer. This is not a start and stop effort. This is not a inconsistent effort. This is not a hobby. Yukta. The way your teeth are yukta with your gums. Who knows why I'm thinking about that, but like that. Yesterday I shared that this is a naturalized effort. For an infant to walk, it's so much effort. But once you learn how to walk, you don't even know that you're putting in effort for walking. It's natural. A practical way for us to train in this first quarter is to raise the quality of your thoughts. From your thoughts, these affect your desires, these get expressed as words. Be yukta to raising the quality of your thoughts. Next, vijitatma. The word atma is used again. Vijita means to be victorious. This is in reference to the ego. To be victorious over the ego. The ego and extroversion are synonymous. The ego extroversion is always wanting to win. But this winning is external. Vijita, Vijaya, etc., that orientation is different. It is to be victorious over the one who's making us extrovert. And Jita, Indriya, and I hope you can catch how apt these words are. Vijita, used for the ego. Jita, that's used for the body. It is less intense. You don't have to work as hard to direct the body. Sharing this in one more way. If you make training your mind, your lifestyle. This will radiate outside to the body and radiate inside to the ego. Work on your mind. This is the investment. See how it spreads out. Again, another billboard that I'm going to read soon when we go through Buffalo. If you can plan a birthday party, you can plan for a natural disaster. If you can plan a birthday party, you can plan for a natural disaster. I believe this is a FEMA billboard. And the point is, we put in so much effort for a birthday party. If you can do that, you can plan for a natural disaster. In other words, this investment is more basic. This investment is more long-lasting. Feel that way about what you do with your mind. Then what happens? Sarva bhutatma, bhutatma, the word atma is used again. Now this atma is not mind or ego. This atma is spirit. For the one who lives like this, they feel their spirit is in all beings and all beings are in their spirit. This is a poetic, feeling way to describe oneness. Oneness. Again, trying to make this more vijnana. How do you live this? You will start to feel beings in yourself and vice versa by having less dislikes. You start with that. Less dislikes then pulls having less likes. Dislikes and likes are a strong sign of separation or not oneness. These are things we shouldn't do. Tell us something we should do. Acceptance. Acceptance, this is a sign of getting into that oneness. And even better than acceptance is to raise. Raise other people. Specifically, raise their happiness. First line, you raise yourself. If you complete this, second line, now you can raise others. And I'd mentioned that about Sri Rama. Sri Rama's purpose was to raise. Everywhere he went, he raised. Even his stepmother, who didn't treat him well, when he returned from the jungle, she was the first person that he went to embrace. The raising then leads to the reveling. The word Rama also means he is a presence that revels in every being's heart. Last quarter. And this is a really awesome last quarter. Kurvan, doing, api, even though doing, na, not, lipyate, they're not impurified or doing. Even though doing, they're not doing. And since they're not doing, they can't become impure, bound, etc. The point is, when you are one with the spirit, because you're not the doer anymore, you become the most dynamic. You do the most, you get others to do the most, but there's no sense of forgetting divinity. Bhagavad Gita's chapter 4 formally has the theme of Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. We have made this practical for our community as deservershiplessness. We have deservership. In this chapter, we are guided to experience the lessness of this. This chapter ended with us focusing on jnana. And Shri Krishna shares, Shraddhavan labhate jnana. When we think of knowledge, we think of those who are scholarly, those who know different languages. But Shri Krishna shares, those who will know their nature, it is those who are filled with faith. This is another example of how IQ and SQ are different. For IQ, you do have to be academic. For SQ, you have to be faithful. Chapter 5 formally has the theme of Karma Sannyasa Yoga. And we have tried to make this more practical for our community in the form of doershiplessness. We've already tried to purge deservership by not having overthoughts, not needing appreciation, but now intensifying our selflessness to not feel that we are the doer. And this is the truth. We are not the doer. Why do we need a chapter to guide us in this? Doershiplessness. When an immature person thinks about this, they feel that person is inert. Like meaningful mornings is doershiplessness. No one's eating. No one's cleaning. No one's paying attention. That's doershiplessness. But conversely, doershiplessness is expressed as one being the most dynamic. The notion of doership weighs heavy on our inner world and outer world. When you work hard to manifest a certain outcome and it doesn't happen, how heavy you feel. But the one who's training in doershiplessness, they are light-handed, they are light-hearted, they're light-headed. The way for us to train in doershiplessness, we had opened up verse 7, chapter 5, verse 7. It is to make self-development your lifestyle. For some, if we just zoom into meaningful mornings is a hobby for some. When it's convenient for you, you join. When it's not convenient, you don't join. That's what a hobby is. When Shuka is feeling well, we take him to dance class. When he's not feeling well, we don't take him to dance class. It's based on convenience. But for someone who makes meaningful mornings their lifestyle, it has nothing to do with convenience. This is their purpose. For someone who's training to be a professional dancer, feeling unwell, feeling well, those are irrelevant. When you make self-development your lifestyle, that is a way to actually manifest in you doershiplessness. If you think about development, another word for this would be expansion. Expansion. When we engage in self-development or self-expansion, this will look like us accepting others more. You accept yourself. If you expand to feel your cousin is yourself, you will accept them more. Your coworker is yourself, you'll accept them more. Here to in terms of acceptance, we often associate this with tolerance. Better than acceptance is to raise the people you interact with. Today, if you happen to call your cousin, try to make them feel lighter. When you have a work project, try to make all those associated with that project lighter. In our community, we try to do this not just with those who we interact with, but those who are far away. In Mississippi, in Karnataka, animals, plants, stones, and so on.
If you've enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend. You can follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and of course on the Simplecast browser. This whole season of Essential Love is accompanied by an ebook by the same name. You can check out our show notes about how you can download the Essential Love ebook, which includes tools for deeper reflection on each of the verses. They go hand in hand. You can find all of this and more at chinmayaniagara.com. Until next time, inspire, love, be.